It's B. Coop alongside Ryan and Jacob, and today we are fortunate enough to be joined with the Michigan Wave, A.K.A. Cam, an avid Michigan fan who has the #1 account for Michigan athletics and is nearing 60,000 followers. How's your quarantine going, Cam?
Solid so far. I've been doing a lot of relaxing, trying to keep in shape, playing a lot of Xbox, which is nice because I didn't always have that much time for it. Recently, I just started working again, so I'm doing my deck staining job, which is my fourth summer doing this. So just started that basically a week or two ago. So I'm staying active, working outside by myself, making some cash. So life's back to being busy, basically.
I know a lot of people know you from your account, but did you ever play sports in the past? And if so, what sports did you play?
Yeah, actually, I did. I believe my first sport I played was soccer, and I played hockey. I played high school football in 11th and 12th grade as a defensive back. Uh, Unfortunately, I broke my foot senior year, so that really screwed my year up, my season. But I also played baseball, and baseball is probably my sport that I'm best at, to be honest.
Nice, nice. Uh,
Cam, you have your deck staining job. It's great you're making your money, but what would you say exactly? A little bit down the road, what would you say is your dream job?
My dream job would probably be to be a graphic designer or a social media manager, a specialist, or content creator, whatever you want to call it. Working in Ann Arbor for the program, whether it's football, basketball, maybe even something like baseball, just involved with the university and being on campus and um, that, or having the ability to do graphic design or social media from abroad. So, like, wherever uh, I can travel and just have my laptop, and that's my form of work. So I could be anywhere in the country, anywhere on the planet, and be able to still work, even on like something like a sandy beach. So that would really be awesome if one day I could do that.
you're from Canada, right?
Correct.
So what is the reasoning for you becoming a Michigan fan?
Well, first started when I was at my friend's house, and I think this was 2011, and the Michigan State game was on, and I was drawn to Michigan's iconic winged helmet as well as the coveted maize and blue. I love the color combo. I've always loved colors growing up, and so I was drawn to that from the start. And then my friend, who ended up becoming a diehard Spartan, coincidentally enough, um, and I remember watching Denard Robinson and how electric he was, and that's basically how my fandom started.
When did you begin your Michigan Wave Instagram account?
2013. This
And
was this was like in my opinion, the prime time to start a serious fan page because at the time Instagram as a social media app was relatively new still. And if you look nowadays, there's a new Michigan fan page being created every day, like multiple per day, and gets a little repetitive. Everyone's trying to copy the other, right? And like I said, I think I started at the perfect time, and the biggest key for me is that I stayed consistent with it and kept working hard, and I didn't take many breaks. I didn't take months off, I didn't take games off, and I believe that's been the biggest reason to my current success.
has it always just been you running the account, or did it start off with like a group or anything?
No, man, it's always been me.
That's dope. Um, if you could give any advice to aspiring content creators, what would you say?
I would say to be consistent and to stand out in any form. How are you going to make yourself stand out from the others? How are you going to make your page be unique? And another thing is to engage with your followers, be active in your direct messages. Most people, when they message an account of 60,000 followers, they don't expect a reply back. And I do respond to them, and I think those three things are vital to a page's success.
How many DMs do you think you'd get a day?
That's a good question. I've gotten it before. I wish there was a way to tell. That's a great question. I would be super interested myself. I really don't know. Like, it depends on the day. It depends on what's going on in the day. Like, I remember when the whole thing with Jacob was going on, especially the day he was announcing, my DMs were going insane. I had so many requests and these yeah, but so there's a website I use called Social Blade, and I can use that to get uh, detailed insights on like follower growth or loss per day, and they show like in-depth charts and graphs and all that. Check it out, guys. Social Blade, and you can log your brand or account in with your handle, your username, and it goes for Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all that type of stuff, and I find it so helpful for monitoring my progress. But what it doesn't do is show me my insights on like direct messages.
Yeah. Well, one other quick question is like, you say you joined in 2013. How long would you say it took before it really started to take off, where it was starting to grow real exponentially?
It's a great question. I would definitely say the year 2016.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Right.
that was a really really fun year for Harbaugh. That was his second year
Mm-hmm.
as the head coach, and everyone knows like 2016 was personally my favorite year so far in my life, but not only including Michigan football, but yeah, there was a huge leap of growth from 2013, 14, 15 onto 2016, and then from there on.
All right. Now, well, you have one of the biggest accounts on Michigan in any social platform. So, what would you say it's like to run one of these big Instagram accounts?
You have to be passionate. You have to be a hard worker, and you have to be dedicated and motivated. And um, you really have to want it. That's all I have to say. And it can be definitely can be overwhelming at times. Can be seemingly feel like a chore or a stress or a hassle or like a side gig, side job, part-time job, full-time job type of thing. Like, there are many instances where I'm working my other job and I'm stressed out because I've set the bar for my page to be fast with breaking news, whether it's commitments or stuff like that. So it's always like a thought in the back of my mind or a stress, and it can be overwhelming. But you just have to embrace the positives and negatives, the pros and cons, and enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah. So, lots of responsibility, obviously.
Yes.
Has your account always been called the Michigan Wave, or did it start out something else?
It's another good question. So it started off as Hail to Mich, short for Hail to Michigan. And one day I was fooling around with the usernames, and I slightly altered it, or I did something to it. I don't remember what I changed it to, but some user took the username Hail to Mich like right away within minutes, and I no longer could use it. So I got screwed. So I had to resort to having these two ugly underscores, one on each end, one before the H and one after the H, and I didn't like that as much. But then when I joined Wave, the affiliate, we had to brand our accounts to Wave, and I became the Michigan Wave, which has become the most popular. I remember I had some followers that were against it, and a lot of people don't like change, but in the long run, I'm happy with it. And my backup account is Hail to Mish. It did have the underscores, but I recently actually contacted the user that had the username, and he actually got back to me eventually and was super nice about it and respected what I was doing. I'm so grateful for that guy. And he altered his username, so I was able to claim Hail to Mish back. So I'm super pumped about that.
How did your affiliation with Wave, like, when did it happen, and how did it really like go down?
I believe it was like August of 2017, and I was just checking my direct messages like I usually do every day, and this account called Greatest Highlights, which had like 1 million followers, messaged me and was just like a like a chill conversation. It's just like, hey, or hey, what's up, or hey, man. And I was like, what is this? What does this page want? Like, what the heck? This is weird, but it's a massive account, so I definitely should answer this. So I respond back, and we go into further detail about what they're interested in, what they're looking for, the brand they're trying to start up, and it would eventually become the Wave official page on Instagram if you look that up. And then we got into further discussion, and I ended up discussing payment and signing a contract with them and whatnot. So I joined their team.
I know you stated that like you chose Instagram because it was kind of new and it was 2013, so it was kind of popping at the time. But have you ever thought of expanding your platform outside of Instagram?
Well, I'm on Twitter, the same username, TheMichiganWave. So check that out if you guys want. I don't tweet much. I'll tell you that right off the bat. I do not tweet much. All I do is, I stay up to date. I do a lot of retweeting. I like some tweets. But I just get my news from there and my like stuff that I'll post on my Instagram story and whatnot. I've thought about a podcast. I really enjoy joining podcasts as guests. I've been on The Prattle. I'm going to be on Blue by 90 in a couple weeks. I'm on this one right now. I could start my own. Like I have really good relationships with a lot of the players, and a lot of them get back to me in the messages. So it's something I've thought of. I'm also on Facebook as Hail to Michigan, but that's about it right now. I'm always down for expanding or coming up with new ideas, though.
Yeah, so I completely get that. And so transitioning over to Michigan, over the last decade, I know that you talked about Denard Robinson a little bit, but over the last decade, who is your favorite Michigan athlete to watch and why?
Oh, it's a tough call. I have about 3 players that come to mind for this question. Denard Robinson, Devin Bush. I think my answer would be Jabril Peppers. He was
Yeah.
just so electric to watch. I still think to this day that he could be a lethal running back. Like he was a great returner on special teams, but man, was he dangerous with the ball in his hands. And I love the Viper position that we had him play for Don Brown. Sent him on a lot of blitzes, had him in coverage. Surprising, he only had 1 interception in his collegiate career, but it came against the Buckeyes 2016 in the shoe, so that was always nice. But yeah, my answer would be Jabril Peppers.
All right. So Michigan football always has these big important games. You have the Ohio States, the Notre Dames, the Michigan States. Like other than that, what do you think is Michigan football's most important non-rivalry game it usually has?
Minnesota Gophers,
Mm.
Golden Gophers. They play them in the 2020 season at TCF Bank Stadium. We haven't played there since 2015 on Halloween night. I just posted a video about that
was a
game.
game.
That thriller of an ending. I posted that today, so check that out. But we have at Washington week 1, so that's also a huge test. So those 2 games, I'm gonna have circled. More importantly, I'm gonna say the Minnesota game though, which I believe is on October 17th, 2020. I'm not sure what's gonna happen with this season regarding COVID-19 and its effect on everything in sports, but let's just hope we have it. I'm assuming there won't be any crowds though, which is very, very unfortunate.
Moving into basketball away from football, obviously Michigan basketball, in terms of recruiting, we've had some disappointments, a lot of transfers. But with the class that we do have, what player are you most looking forward to?
Would have been Isaiah Todd, that's for sure. I'm really close with Jace Howard and have been basically since his pops got hired last May. I would say, though, Zeb Jackson is going to be great for us. But,
Ooh.
man, I'm excited for Hunter Dickinson, the 7 foot or 7'2" center, replacing Teskey. God bless Teskey. Really respect him and his career and the hard work he put in. But I'm excited to watch Hunter. I'm wondering how many minutes he's going to get as a true freshman and how big he's going to get under Cam Sanderson in Ann Arbor in the strength program.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer. I'm also very excited to watch Hunter. And so now transitioning to our podcast theme this week, who are your top 3 musical artists right now?
Oh, it's a tough call, man. I listen to so many artists, different genres. I listen to rap, R&B, pop. I really like alternative. I don't really mess with country music. Sorry, guys, but my top 3. I'm thinking like rappers for this. I'm gonna go with Drake. Toronto's my city. Drake is the GOAT. I'm gonna go with J. Cole, and I'm gonna go with Kendrick Lamar.
And if you had to say number one, you'd say Drake, I assume, or
Yeah, he's got hits, hit after hit, banger after banger. He doesn't miss.
that's very accurate.
Nothing but dubs.
What do you think about his new tape that he just dropped?
Love it. Love it. Been listening to it like crazy. One of my favorite songs is Desires with Future. There's a lot of good ones. Florida with Love. A lot of good ones. So
Yeah, the Drake and Future tandem is definitely one that is not to be messed with. They always come through.
yep.
All right, I think that's all the questions we have. Thank you for coming on, Cam. Obviously, if you guys are tuning into this, you probably already follow him on Instagram. But if not, just look him up, TheMichiganWave on Instagram, and you won't be disappointed if you follow him. Now moving on.
This was a lot of fun. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, honestly. Now moving on, back to the original scheduled program, to our next segment. Max, take us away.